Hey everybody, it's GoblinX and welcome back to the Lorwyn Eclipsed Play Booster Box Arena Direct, our chance to win some physical Play Booster Boxes of Lorwyn Arena by playing Best of One sealed digitally on Magic Arena. We're going to have to get 6 or 7 wins before only 2 losses, again in Best of One sealed, so just a little bit of mana issues or a couple explosive bombs and you are out of the event. Very high risk, but very high reward, being able to get some physical cards. It's cool stuff. That whole spiel out of the way, all that buyer beware stuff. Let's just hop back in there. You all know I'm a YouTuber. I play tons of draft and sealed. I'm gonna go spew my gems here until we get a box. This is a lot of rares, which is pretty sick. It looks like a lot of them line up with Maryland's colors. So we could play Maryland, Oko, Bloom Tender, Deceit, Vibrance, Formidable Speaker, and Glenalendra Guardian all in the same green, blue, black deck. In fact, we could play them all in a green-blue deck that just splashes black, because Deceit is still playable off of just the double blue and 4, and Maryland only needs a single black to be ran there. That's pretty sick. I mean, if we can shove all these in the same deck, plus these mythic rare elementals, even if they only get one enter the battlefield trigger, they're going to be okay cards, and then they'll add to our vivid stuff, which might be something, because that's something that the blue-green color pair has a lot of. Formidable Speaker, being able to tutor for the Maryland, or the Vibrance, or the Deceit, or the Glenalendra Guardian is pretty sick, and if we have good green fixing that can add them out of any color, we might even be able to get the red or black abilities off these cards. This looks like a really, really cool collection of rares here. Hopefully we have the good vivid commons and uncommons to go with them. Let's check things out here. Take a peek at green real quick. We do have one Great Forest Druid. We do have a 10 the Sprigs. So there's a little bit of fixing there. What about our multicolored and colorless for fixing? We have a Wickermaw. We have an Evolving Wilds. We have Eclipsed Realms. I don't know. It's going to depend on how many elementals we end up with and how many changelings we have, but I could see running Eclipse Realms on elementals towards actually getting double red for Vibrance and double black for Deceit. We also do have a treasure token from the Noggle Robber that helps as well. Cool stuff here. If we've got enough changelings, Gathering Stone could be good too, but I do think our creature types will be a little bit all over the place if green and blue are our core colors, which is really what we want them to be when we have multiple blue rares and mythics, multiple green rares and mythics. So let's start by just taking a quick glance. I'm going to build this deck pretty quick, and I'm going to be doing that from now on in these runs to get them out of the way. So a quick peek at red here just to see if it's worth running as a core color. It's got great splashable removal with Double Seer and a Tweeze, but I don't think we need it as a main color. It doesn't have a lot of creatures. It is a lot of removal, though, actually. Cinder Strike, Boulder Dash, Double Seer, Tweeze. So that is interesting. White. I'm cool to pass on white. It's close to being good because it's got some really nice Kithkin, but it's very low on the quantity of Kithkin. And our green just has 2 Kithkin. Yeah, we're not really doing white stuff, even though there's good Kithkin there. So probably trying to do blue-green, splash around. We can splash around for black removal spells and splash around for red removal spells. Black has double Bogslitter's Embrace, and I'm already wanting to splash black for Maryland. So we probably don't need to splash red as well. Green as a core color. Play every single piece of fixing we can get. Definitely play Noggle Robber out of green. Definitely play Maryland. Okay, so here's all the green cards and all the hybrid green cards. Crossroads Watcher is my least favorite of these 3 drops for some vivid stuff. We have a lot of 5 mana cards. I like the Wildvine Pummeler a lot in this deck. Glister Baron, technically it has Vivid, so it looks like a card you really want to play in Vivid decks, but it's a card that doesn't do anything on blocks. Only on attacks is it buffing your board. On blocks, it's a 1/4 for 5 mana, so you really need to get good work done with that. Vivid ability for it to be worth it. But we do have at least 3 flyers, which are good cards to target with this Maryland Double Percher. It's still pretty mid, I think. Probably drop Unforgiving Aim and the Combat Trick. Keep the little Combat Trick for protecting Maryland with Hexproof. Yeah, I think we drop these. Look to our other colors. Blue. Ooh, we got a little bit more fixing out of the blue. Blue gives us the Stratosaur for basic land cycling. And what exactly does Oko do? So we play Oko, +1 to slow them down from killing them. Then we flip Oko and get a couple Elks. Okay. Yeah, just -3 to Oko seems like pretty great value. For 3 mana, getting 2 3/3s is really, really good. So we just play the Oko, do what we can to protect Oko for a turn to flip and get 2 3/3s. That's already a good deal if we just accomplish at least that. Don't think I want a double blue counterspell. I want to be really deep on green and then play some sources of many other colors. So I don't really want to play double blue cards. I only need 3 more cards in this deck. Okay, blue gives us the Deceit. And then the black splash from Maryland also gives us double Embrace. Inversion or Blight Rot are options too. Even a Grave Shifter is pretty good. What if I splash the other way around? Because black has excellent removal. What if I just play a bunch of black and a little bit of blue instead? Right, I can play Deceit off of the black half of it. Oko's going to be a much later game play then if Oko's off the splash, but instead, same with the Guardian, actually will be much later. That might not quite be worth a splash, but I think Oko still would be. 3 mana flash, 2/3 flyer. 2 mana remove the counter, buff it. Counterspell, they draw a card. I don't know, it actually probably is worth the splash. I kind of forgot about that as another cheaper flyer. We've got Glamour Mites too. We might actually go Glister Baron Flyer, green-blue. It's either Glister Baron green-blue with a bunch of flyers, or it's green-black with a low creature count, because we're not really adding any creatures out of black. We get 1 safe right, and just a bunch of removal. I think I want to go green-blue flyers here, actually. Yeah, I'm looking at all this. We get a safe right. We get Inversion, Blight Rot, Double Embrace. I can still already just put Double Embrace in here. Anti-Sentence is fine and sealed too. Rip out the bomb. Go green-blue flyers, where Aquatech's defenses and Blossoming defense. Just play all of the hexproof defenses to keep our flyers on the board, keep them chipping away. Then actually play the Glister Baron. And what are our creature types? Our most prevalent creature type is elementals with 4 or fairies with 4, and there's 2 shapeshifters. So we didn't really get there in terms of creature types for Gathering Stone, nor did we get there for Eclipsed Realms. This will still be colorless at all times, but playing it just to try to get double red on Vibrance now and then does not feel right. We'll just let Vibrance be the double green and 3, and then Vibrance also helps get the black source to maybe even hit double black for Deceit sometimes. Deceit could get double triggered at times. Vibrance will always just be 1, but that's okay. We'll just go green, blue, black, run 0 mountains, but run a few swamps so that double black Deceits are possible off of our many ways to pull out an extra swamp like Tend the Sprigs, Evolving Wilds, and Vibrance as well. See, I like that. We just need to cut 3 cards. We are on 19 creatures, so we're probably going to cut primarily creatures. Being a 3-color deck here, we can cut a little bit on the double green cards, even though this card does help with Vivid. Yeah, I think Wary Farmer, out of everything I'm looking at right now, looks like it makes the most sense as a cut. Maybe running multiple Blossoming Defenses is overkill. You know what's actually really surprising is we don't have too many Maryland triggers. We have more fairies than elves in this sealed pool. So at least the fairies do trigger Maryland as well. So we've got the 3 fairies here. We're going to run these changelings. Yeah, we'll still have enough triggers to definitely run the Maryland, but there's just 2 elves in this deck. I can definitely cut a Kithkin. Yeah, we didn't cut any green elves. I guess there's the Grove Druid. That's a very competitive mana cost, though. 1 Creekwood safe item that I'm not playing, and it would be pretty bad here. Play Grave Shifter. Yeah, I could like splash in 1 more elf, basically. That's super weird. There's like 3, maybe 4 or 5 elves in the entire sealed pool, because we're running 2 right now. We're not running any of the black elves. The black elves are 1 safe right, 1 Grave Shifter. I mean, we're still doing fine. It's just kind of, it's just interesting. I will drop Aquatex defenses and just keep the cheaper one. Keep the Blossoming Defense. And I might drop one of these elementals. Keep the fairy count as high as possible. Keep the flyer count as high as possible for Baron. Keep all these finishers. Yeah, we'll be a little slower. Not going to be like a curve out sealed deck, but it is going to be playing enough creatures to clutter up the board and then hope to just chip away the flyers till our opponent dies, or play good rares, of which we have many. It's not impossible for us to get the double red ability out of Vibrance, because sometimes we'll have Great Forest Druid and Wickermaw, or we can get red out of Druid and red out of Wickermaw, or we'll have a treasure token in one of those, or Bloom Tender plus Wickermaw would do it, because we make the Wickermaw red, get it red, and then Bloom Tender also gives red at that point. So there's some ways we might stumble into double red for Vibrance, but I don't think we want to play any mountains in here to do so. So it's going to be very rare that it happens, but possible. I think double black on Deceit is actually a pretty reasonable thing to occur relatively consistently. We've got 12 green cards and 8 blue. 8 green sources and 7 blue right now. I think I'm going to go even higher. I should probably go 9, 7, 2 here with all these mana dorks and treasure tokens. I really need to be super high on green, though, for Great Forest Druid, for Tend the Sprigs, for the double green Noggle Robber, the triple green Glister Baron. Yeah, I'm definitely putting that 8th Forest in there. The debate is between the 3rd Swamp and the 6th Island, and I think I'm going to go for the 6th Island here. And now we'll just go ahead and call it a deck, hop into the gameplay, and see how far this one can take us. Here we are on the play for game number 1. We're basically hoping to draw just any non-green permanents. Then we can Bloom Tender up real quick here. Mono black from our opponent. Oh, Great Forest Druid works fine. Kaboom. Good Blossoming Defense if they flash in that 2/2 thing. That's the biggest thing to play around there. It's possible it wasn't worth attacking, because if they do flash in the 2 mana 2/2, we wouldn't really want to blow our Blossoming Defense early, but we would have to in that case. Vinebred Brawler, play a 4/2 that must be blocked each turn, if able. So I'd have to block with my 3/3 if I run that out here. Just play the Pummeler. And we'll see if they have a way to buff that Brawler big enough to get into the Pummeler here. Hopefully not. We've got wonderful mana in this hand, but if the Pummeler dies, we're just out of gas. We're just waiting to draw any of our cards. We can cast pretty much anything. So far, so good. Pummeler is sticking around, and we've drawn another flying threat. Let's see if they're going to do something on blocks to it. Nope, they're going to take 6 to the face. Fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and play Rooftop Percher over Glenelendra Guardian. just holding up a Blossoming Defense and being mana efficient. Playing the bigger one. There's a Blight, Rotwell, Blossoming Defense. Stoic Grove Guide. They've got nothing in the sky. We do get some trample damage in with the Pummeler as well, which is quite nice. The trade for Grove Guide isn't particularly good though, so I'm actually just going to hold on to my Pummeler on blocks here and just use it to slow them down long enough to hit them in the sky enough times to finish this game. The Pummeler holding the Vinebred Brawler off. Could just chump the Grove Guide with Bloom Tender. Got more than enough mana at this point, and Bloom Tender's only adding green anyway. I can let that Gathering Stone resolve. It's possible I was supposed to play it and counter that just so I could remove the counter from Guardian and make it bigger. So I have 2 3/3s with flying attacking them. But I feel like it's probably better to just let it resolve, because if I can save Glenalendra's counterspell ability for a removal spell, that's the best way to guarantee that we kill them in 2 swings. Then they can't draw a removal spell to survive. Their only out is a reach creature or a flyer. So I'm just letting that Gathering Stone happen, and I think that's the right play here. So here's the Guardian. There's a Vibrance for us. We can't get double red because Bloom Tender doesn't give red. Just need 1 and a blue to counter their removal. Yep. So we're fine. Grab my double black here. Bloom Tender and Great Forest Druid are both blue sources now, so it doesn't matter what color our untapped land is. Abigail. I can't counter creatures, so Abigail absolutely destroys me. 5/4 flying lifelink first strike is impossible to deal with. I think the one Abigail is just going to blank everything we did this entire game. We went from heavily favored opponent almost immediately dead to massively behind, I think. Another Grove Guide. Another Flyer's good. But it's not going to do anything to get through Grove Guide. Whenever we attack with Flyers, they're going to eat 1 and gain 5 immediately. They're dead to like a Bog Slither's Embrace, but if they play any more reach or flying creatures, they can just start hitting us for 5 and gaining 5 a turn. If they have any green-based removal, that's incredibly bad. We'll have to Glenelendra Guardian counter any of those, because then they would like be killing one of our creatures and gaining a bunch of life. Pass through, we find a Summit Sentinel. Not the worst, since it can dig. Although it is still pretty bad, because it's not really going to die here. I can't chump attack with it, because if I chump attack with it, they're gaining 5 life. So, yeah, Summit Sentinel actually is kind of the worst. Bog Slither's Embrace would have made them chump and go to 4 there or something, but we did not find it. Or Assert Perfection would work as well. Glister Baron actually does not work. We have 4 colors if we get Glister Baron. No, we don't have black on board. So we only give +3/+3, in which case we have a 6 toughness creature attacking into their 6 lifelinking first tower. So it would just first strike away our Percher anyway. Glamour Might. We actually had a few lethal draws. Glamour Might, Bogslitter's Embrace, Assert Perfection. But this is awful. They're going to gain the 7 here, and now our list of lethal draws is much lower. I'm at 28. What if I take this and then crack back with literally everyone? Like I block with Great Forest Druid here? I mean, I guess I just block with Summit Sentinel. If I don't want to put Pummeler at risk of some kind of trick. I feel like I should try to kill this, though, because if they don't have a trick, it's really important to stop them from buffing Grove Guide. But I want to dig, and the other thing is if I double block with Pummeler and Sentinel, I don't get to draw a card, because they can just put all the damage on Pummeler. I'm just going to draw a card here. This is a super suspicious attack. It's a forest. Top deck is a Deceit. So we can deal with that lifelinking Grove Guide if we don't kill them on this attack. Yep, I've got my double black. So let's work towards that. Let's send on in. They are up to 12, so we do not kill them on this attack. Vibrance to get that Grove Guide out of here is fine. To make room for Wildvine Pummeler. I will counter that. Unforgiving Aim. Give them a different card. They have enough cards in their hand. Deceit's actually pretty sick here because I'm not going to make them discard the Grove Guide. Can choose like anything else in their hand to make them discard. Death Touch first strike, gross. So that was the trick they were trying to use last turn as well. So they're down to 7 now. Double blue, double black, 2. Here's Deceit. Bounce the Grove Guide. And look at their hand. Bloodline Bidding, Prisma Basher, and Grove Guide. We get rid of Bloodline Bidding. Prisma Basher still gains a chunk of life with Abigail, but probably not enough. We really can't let them Bloodline Bidding. They only have 1 elf in there right now, but if we don't manage to win quick, that could be deadly. I think we just get rid of Bloodline Bidding, and we should be able to kill them in the sky before Prisma Basher kills us. We're at 21. And Prisma Basher is not a permanent buff on Abigail. It's a one-time gain some life. We still have 6 power in the sky. They have no reach. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Prisma Basher isn't even big enough to get Pummeler, to get through our Wildvine Pummeler. I think we got there. That Deceit draw, massive. Yeah, the only card that could matter here is the one card that we don't see, the one card we don't know. They play Gangly Stompling. They play a Stoic Grove Guide. And they pass. Just defending themselves on the ground. Making sure that they don't get one shot here. Send in the flyers. They go to 1 or they chump. They go to 1, and we pass. Send in a 5/4. No blocks. Bog Slither's Embrace. I think I should cast that here. Play around a combat trick, gaining them enough life. They have to block both not to die. They block one of them. Perfect. Bog Slither's Embrace was actually so clutch there. That is a 1-0 heading into game 2. Alright, here we are for game number 2 with all our colors, thanks to Evolving Wilds. Keep this. I don't know if Oko is gonna survive to make a couple creatures, but that'd be pretty sick. If so. There's a Vibrance. Another sick one. Could play Dunderlin Weaver, just have somebody to block for Oko. Probably not crazy to just run that out. Thoughtwef Lieutenant. Well, let's go for it. I could also tend the Sprigs on black towards Deceit. And that also guarantees Vibrance next turn. And that's actually pretty big. Tend the Sprigs on black, and then we Vibrance on blue next turn. Or the other way around. I'm going to get the black first, so if I draw anything better to do than Vibrance next turn, I can do that instead. Vibrance is still going to be good here. I mean, a 4/4 blocker, gain some life, set up a Deceit. Pretty good against an aggressive start like Thoughtwef Lieutenant. Pretty glad that I didn't play Oko, because they would have buffed Lieutenant and still hit Oko. Get the second blue here. Champions of the Perfects. Well, we found our Deceit targets. Cast with double blue, double black. Target champions. Check out their hand. Champions, Chitness, Grasping, Spiral, Wayfinder. Alright, champions, goodbye. Then Oko takes this over. How many mythics do we need to play to win? At least 3 this game. There's Spiral into Solitude on the Deceit. Maryland's the draw. Oh my. No permanents in my grave but Evolving Wild. Have a good Dunderlin Weaver turn, but still. Should play Maryland here. I don't hate picking up Evolving Wilds, but I probably shouldn't. So we know they have 3 lands and a 3/4 with reach. We don't know what the other 2 draws are, though. But currently we're way ahead on board. A 4/4 and a 4/5. The 4/5 being a flyer with really good abilities because it's Maryland. They just have a 2/2 and a 1/2. If they destroy Maryland without exiling her, then just Weaver back Maryland and play her is pretty sick. But they don't do that. We draw Rooftop Perch, and I'm just going to spam Maryland triggers. Now we've got 2 fairies on board, so we can play 2 mana value or less. Don't hit a 2 mana value or less card. Attack with Maryland, they cannot block well. With their 3/4, they could double block Vibrance here, but then we kill their reach creature. And they need that reach pretty badly with a 4/5 and 3/3 flyer out on our board. They take it all, go to 4 life. Play their own Rooftop Percher. Now they have 2 ways to block flyers, and they gain a couple life here. or a few points of life. They're back to 7. Send in the lieutenants. We're down to 16. Okay, there's a land for us. I can play Rooftop Percher and Oko. All right, we'll play Percher first in case it hits something good off of Maryland. We could cast any 3 mana value card now. Gold Meadow Nomad, not exactly good, but it is value. I don't think it's good enough to play over just -2, -0.
Don't submit to them.
So they can't block Maryland well. Attacking with our Rooftop Percher is pretty relevant here. They'll just block it with the 1/4 and let... There's a Blight on Deceit. Oh wait, the Maryland casts are free? Without paying mana cost, I should have played the 1/2. It's been so long since I've gotten to actually play a Maryland. Well, I'm glad that happened in this game, because it's probably not relevant this game. But that could be absolutely relevant in the future. Yeah. Okay. We drew a bunch of incredible rares and just crush is what it is. Now we know for the future with Maryland, we're casting the cards for free, so we 100% spend the mana on them because they're free. We don't spend mana on them, so we absolutely should be playing that Gold Meadow Nomad. Good to learn that in that game where it doesn't matter because we are so far ahead. We are now 2-0, at least a 50-50 run no matter what, as we head into round 3. All right, here we are for game number 3. This is risky. I'm going to keep it. I guess worst case scenario, if I'm under a lot of pressure, I can evoke Deceit early. I would really prefer not to. But I can go like Island, evoke Deceit here. There's a Wanderbrine Preacher to start them off. We do find Great Forest Druid, which is a great draw if they don't have removal. We'll run that here instead of evoking. Now if we draw any land, which we haven't drawn any yet, then we'll be able to Vibrance, and then we're golden. If this Great Forest Druid dies, we are in a lot of trouble, so I'm not even going to block here. Put it at extra Cinder Strike style risk. Discard Gold Meadow Nomad, draw a card. 0 lands drawn this game. Am I going to have to evoke Vibrance? I don't think so. I think I can just embrace Cinder for now. There's Shore Lurker. Come on, any land in the deck. Evolving Wilds would be the worst one, but every other land is perfect. And Evolving Wilds is still good. I mean, welcome to Blight Town. Just more and more threats from opponent. We haven't drawn a single land all game still. Okay, dude. Evoke Vibrance, cast 10 the Sprigs for no token. It's just what we have to do if we're going to draw like this. Really disappointing draws this game. Yep. Go to 12. Elderonti is the play. Now we draw the land. I think I have to decede a token here, because Sky Swimmer is relatively easy for them to recast, and I have life-gaining flyers and reach creatures to play anyway. I mean, maybe I even just hit the Preacher. Just slow them down the most. Their other two creatures come with another creature, but I could also kill a token permanently, which is something big. I'll hit the Preacher. What fresh HE double hockey sticks is this? Double Sigs command, but they don't have blue yet. The double Sigs command sealed pool with Sky Swimmer on board? Yikes, man. I mean, I have no choice but to kill Liminal Hold. If I don't kill Liminal Hold, I'm dead practically immediately. They can still Cinder Strike Deceit after I block. Like, I block a 2-2 and then they blight onto something to finish off Deceit here. But that forces them to spend another card and put a -1/-1 on their board, and I kill a creature. It's way better than trading in the Liminal Hold. Oh, they top decked a Tweeze so that they don't have to blight, and they get to ditch a card looking for a blue source. Okay, it's still not a blue source. They replay the Preacher. There's Assert Perfection. So let's gain some life. Kill the flyer. Take some damage. So I'm going to take all of this. I'm going to take 5. Yeah, I'm going to take 5 on the Crackback because they're going to blight this Percher away. I guess that means I take 4 instead of 5, but still. Six command just got weaker thanks to us killing the Sky Swimmer, but it's still a big problem. They could just like tap and stun our best blocker and draw a card, or tap and stun our best blocker and make another Wanderbrine Preacher is fine too. But we're working our way towards potentially stable. No, we're not. Top deck is Hovel Hurler to fling things in the sky. Fling a Percher in the sky. And that is a 3/2 flyer. I play the Pummeler, they send somebody in the sky. If I block with Pummeler, they finish it with Cinder Strike. This does trade into the Hovel Hurler itself, though, which is important. I think I have to lead with Pummeler and then go Glenelendra Guardian. I think that's where we're at. Ashling is the blue source, but only if it flips, so they discard the Sigs command and draw a card. Oh yeah, and if it flips, it's only for mana value 4 or greater anyway. So yeah, they don't get blue until they spend blue with Ashling, which is kind of funny. Double white to hurl somebody, holding up the Cinder Strike. Cinder Strike onto the Hovel Hurler. I probably have to put Percher in front of this Preacher. It's pretty rough to just take the damage. And if I block with Pummeler, I'm losing the 6/5. That helps deal with Hovel Hurler. I guess I could wait a turn and try Guardian up for the Cinder Strike, then I can block with Pummeler and then counter the Cinder Strike, which would be very good. Yeah, I just take the hit here if they send it. They are going to Cinder Strike the Percher then. Formidable Speaker with 4 mana up. 3 while holding a blocker up. So I can Formidable Speaker into Glamourmite. Could Formidable Speaker into Marilyn. Discarding Rooftop Percher, casting Guardian. It's a plan. That is a fairy. Okay. We need a plan here, and that's a plan. Pummeler on the 3-power flyer, Glenelendra Guardian on the 2-power flyer if they double activate Hurler. Chump the Hurler itself with Great Forest Druid. I'll have a Fairy, an Elf, and a Marilyn out so we can play anything that we hit that costs 3 or less. Buff Ashling. Buff Preacher. Gain 2. Plop Guardian. Eat that. Bounce off that. Eat that. Chump that. Play Marilyn with the blue up for Guardian. 3 mana value or less. We do find a Shield Bearer and a Vibrance that's just gone. I can't activate Glenelendra Guardian and untap my Pummeler in the same turn, so I'm going to hold off for 1 more turn here before I start attacking. And then I guess I'll just start attacking with Marilyn anyway, since I can't get through Hurler on the ground. Reaping Willow's a really good one. But currently it just brings back Elder Auntie. Just a very good card on the ground. They get to Evolving Wilds into their island, so every other turn Ashland gets to discard a card to draw a card. They are just going to play the Elder Auntie rather than waiting on the Willow. Try to go wide around our board. Glisterbairn. Another blocker makes the attacks significantly faster. Still 5 blockers up against 7 attackers, so I just take 2 without them drawing something. They'll flip into the Ashling here so that they can flip into the other one and draw a card next turn. To combat they go, and they pass through. Land for us. We keep Glister burning it up. down to 16. 2 more hits till lethal, but they do have a bit of lifelink. Now they can discard a card and draw a card. Ditch an island, draw a card. Encumbered Reader is fine, and not counterable anyway because it is a creature. Pass through. We find Glamourmite. Once each turn, cast without paying its mana cost. Okay, so I do have to cast it according to timing restrictions. So I need to Glamourmite main phase 2. So that I can play any sorceries that I draw. Like creatures and stuff, I wouldn't be able to play at instant speed. Alright, they're super dead next turn. This is their final draw step. And we have Glenelendra Guardian if it's a non-creature spell to try to save them. It's a creature, and it is good enough to save them if they chump Marilyn. Noggle Robber is the draw. So if I attack with 3 creatures... This is +4/+4 already, so that's already enough. I make this 6 power, they chump it, and then die to Marilyn and Guardian. I have the counterspell if they have a trick. Okay. Really had to double check. Alright, 3-0 it is. Great recovery and stabilization late from that hand. Huge work from the Evoked Vibrance early. That was so important. And if it weren't for that Great Forest Druid, I mean, we would have died. We needed those early embraces just to slow them down. Whew. That is 3-0. A positive record no matter what, as we head into game 4. Here we are for game 4 on the draw. Another hand of worst case scenario evoking this Vibrance. I would really like to not do that, but I have the Sprigs, so that feels unlikely. I should start with the Forest with Vibrance in hand, so that I do have the option of kicking that turn 2. Or evoking it turn 2, not kicking it. Hey, there we go. There's Evolving Wilds now. Instead, get the Black Source immediately. Twin Flame Travelers. Uh-oh. I can't kill that till I have a creature on board. So if they play any enter the battlefield elemental next turn, we're just going to die. This is a great curve on the play. The Druid into turn 3 Twin Flame. While I just have my 3rd land out, just sitting on my butt. Yeah, we really got a ramp. Might just spend 5. Oh yeah, I'm gonna spend 5 and exile Twin Flame Travelers if it's gonna double trigger Rhyme Speaker at this point. I could also hit the Rhyme Speaker instead, which would be reasonable too. Plus, they didn't play a land, so I could also hit... Any of those 3 options are very reasonable cards to exile. By going for removal that turn, I can now have Blossoming Defense up the turn that we play our top decked Marilyn. Awesome. They didn't have anything to play with the Rhyme Speaker to draw a card that turn. Let's go Marilyn, play a Forest. Actually, should just play the Island here. Cool. It's going to be a really cheap pummeler. Hovel Hurler's back again. The grudge match. Opponent's Rhyme Speaker is popping off. It did draw a card this turn. Okay, so I want to have 1 mana up whatever I do. So I can't play Vibrance and Pummeler, can I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick up a land, play a land, then I have 3 mana up. Even if I didn't want to hold up Blossoming Defense, I couldn't double them anyway. So we play the Pummeler because it can actually block their reach stuff. Or block their flying stuff they will get with the Hurler. They have 3 cards in their hand. We know they're all spells because they had missed some land drops. Assert Perfection will Blossoming Defense. Hovel Hurler to send the Summit Sentinel in the sky. And make it bigger. We'll just trade Pummeler into Hurler here. So they're doing some other trick to it. Send in the whole board. Sending in nothing. Okay. Top deck is just a land. Got them down to 12 now. This game, Maryland has literally just been a 5-mana 4/5 flyer. But as I was saying, when we built this deck and put a bunch of little flying fairies in it, the flying does tend to matter a lot in this sealed format. Oh, double-kicked Deceit. That will kill me if I flood any harder. They didn't kill Maryland with it, so they probably have some other way they're trying to kill Maryland. Because otherwise they're dead in 3 hits. We do flood harder. Hovel Hurler hits us down to 6. We got 1 last draw step to hit a spell. There's Prismatic Undercurrents to draw them a card and a bunch of lands. Glister Baron would be a lethal draw. So that'd be the sickest one, but obviously any elf or fairy could save us. Dundulin Weaver. No elves or fairies engraved, the only permanent being the Pummeler. If I Weaver and Pummeler, that's 2 blockers played. I have 3 blockers up total. I block Deceit, Hurler, and the 2/4 take 1. That, if they have no removal, is enough. And they've got an instant here. So we're dead. Just hit a pretty big land clump before the Weaver. Show me what it is. Still gotta go for it. So we're dead to removal. But I still have triple block take 3 right now. We are dead to 1 removal spell. There's Wickermaw. I mean, sending the board is a promising sign. But we could die to a combat trick. If they had removal, they could just kill us with removal on attacks. So maybe... Oh, it's life gain. They are still dead to Glisterbairn, and any elf or fairy is still has potential. Oh, I guess Glisterbairn's +3 now that we don't have our red permanent anymore. Well, elves or fairies do have potential. We're at 3 life with 2 blockers up. Block there, block there. Yeah, no, we have to hit something very good from their deck that costs 2 or less, so probably not, but we'll see. Blossom Bind on the Hovel Hurler. Something decent, at least. Oh, the Lockmare can just stun my stuff no matter what I do. They're going to stun one of our blockers regardless. Yeah, Blossom Bind's not enough. Ah, it's rough. They just activate Lockmare, tapping and stunning Marilyn, and then I have a single blocker at 3 life. Maybe they'll play around something that we don't have. Okay, they're not going to play around Settle the Wreckage, so... Once they've activated the Lockmare, I think that's enough. It's like, okay. I mean, they did it. They're not going to punt from there. Rough game. Pretty happy with how I played that. I don't think there's anything we really could have done much better. We just drew a little too many lands there. And that's magic. All right, first loss, 3-1, heading into game 5. Here we are with a mono green opener, but we have Noggle Robber for treasure and Wickermaw to fix the mana. So we'll keep that. There's a Spring Leaf Drum from our opponent. Very multicolored. And Great Forest Druid. Great Forest Druid versus Bloom Tender. Fight. Next turn, if they don't kill the Bloom Tender, we get to play Noggle Robber and Wickermaw, and then just get really explosive from there. There's Burden Stoneback off of white, so that is a very, very multicolored deck, yep. And then the Stompling off the Spring Leaf Drum. Like, as long as they don't get a crazy amount of immediate damage from the extra mana they got out of the Spring Leaf Drum, I think we're doing good. If they kill my Bloom Tender, keeping Blossoming Defense on top is bad news. But if they don't kill Bloom Tender, we go so hard next turn with Noggle Robber and Wickermaw. Then I have the defense for Marilyn. They didn't kill Bloom Tender yet, so I'm going to pray that the plan is not to kill Bloom Tender. Prismatic Undercurrents. Yeah, similar to the Spring Leaf Drum, that card is just mana. It's basically just another land. It's going to let them play stuff faster, but then once they run out of things, it's just 2 more threats maximum. So very, very scary, but if their threats are just more 4/2s, we'll be fine here, and they'll run out of threats before we do. Really cool deck from our opponent, though. Really explosive mana. And they pass through. Which means Wickermaw on black. Play Marilyn holding up Blossoming Defense. Or Wickermaw on blue would have worked the exact same. Oh, no, Wickermaw on blue wouldn't have worked. I instinctually did the right thing. Hey. Sometimes brain do work good. So they have their bajillion lands they found with Prismatic Currents, and now they get to find a giant that costs 8 or less. Huh, I wonder what that is. I'm curious to see what's about to happen. Wait, I could be wrong, actually. I lied, it's the elemental giant thing, actually, out of green. Yeah, it's the elemental giant thing. Okay. Well, now they play the top 3 permanents of their deck and kill us. This is less bad than Curious Colossus. So I'm actually happy I was wrong. Even though it made me look like a fool. I tried to make a curious pun and then it wasn't even Curious Colossus. No elves or fairies in the hand. Wickermaw red's kind of sick here. Yeah, red, red, green, green. I don't know if there's a way to do this without having a floating mana. No, because it makes the green but also the blue and black at the same time. I have to do double red, double green. And one of those two. Yeah, there isn't a way to do it without floating a mana. Three to Stompling. Grab a forest. Should have grabbed a swamp, but whatever, I have Evolving Wilds. The rope is scaring me. Broken the Blossoming Defense, that's fine. Unless I want to Bogsler's Embrace and just get in. Let's Bogsler's Embrace. Blight the Wickermaw. Evolving Wilds, I have Blossoming Defense up. Okay. Not perfectly sequenced there, but more than good enough. There's Pummeler for hire. So they do have a reach creature, but it's not big enough to block Marilyn. Send in their 4/4. Indestructible 4/4. Hello, welcome to my face. Down to 18. Swamp for Deceit. Woo! We didn't even need all this Bloom Tender mana, but it's fun, so you do what you're gonna do. Six stuff. We are at 4-1 now. Very positive record of the draft no matter what. And we are leaving with almost all the gems we paid to enter. I believe it's 6,000 gems per run. We're getting 5,400 back and 16 packs, so we will definitely have enough for another run after this at worst. But if we can keep this chain going, we're only a couple wins away from a booster box. Super good late game Vivid hand. I'm going to go Forest into Island Summit Sentinels so that I have one of the two Vibrance Forests out if we end up needing to evoke that early. Looks like it won't be the case. We got a good 3-drop. There's Eclipsed Kithkin for our opponent. Glad to have a 1/3 against that. That's a good stat line. It just finds a plains here and not a forest, which might be great for us if they are green-white. Shadow Urchin. I probably should have actually just attacked with Summon Cell and then Glamour Might untapped it to try to get a free kill on Kithkin. Yeah, that was loose. I should have done that. We don't really care about the damage at all, but the opportunity to maybe kill one of their creatures without spending anything would be really good. Even if it is just a 2/1 creature. I'm gonna lead with Vibrance for sure. Lead with the most expendable cards. Sun Celebrant gets Convoked out. The 5/6. Draw Bog Slither's Embrace. Good for the future, not necessary on the 5/6. But perfectly reasonable on it still. I think I'm just going to play Vibrance and Summit Sentinel trump that for now. Sets up for a really good Glister Baron. Let's get the 1-tap land out of our deck. Because I'm not using 6 mana, I'm using 5 mana again next turn. Liminal Hold. We got Liminal Hold out of the way for Maryland. Send an Urchin and Celebrant here. Send in just Celebrant here. I could just take that so I can Blight onto Summit Sentinel, and if I draw Great Forest Druid, I'm so happy I made that choice. Although now I could just Blight onto Druid instead. This is still threatening the Kithkin. Druid is not. We're going to hit our double black for if we draw Deceit. There's a Gnarlbark Elm. That's pretty gnarly. Because that is going to kill Glamourmite. And it's really good with the Shadow Urchin. Then a Swamp out, then draw the card. Tend the Sprigs is not bad. Get a 3/4 here. Can play Marilyn and Wickermaw. Most efficient use of mana. Let's do it. See what Marilyn hits. Land. Womp womp. Glamourmite off the top if they don't kill Marilyn. Let's get my final attack in with this Glamourmite before they kill it with Elmet at worst. Apologies for the fuzzy audio and frame rate every now and then. It looks like I'm having some encoder errors with OBS, so I'm gonna have to go finick through all the technical side of things after this recording session, but I don't really have time to mess with all that stuff in the middle of an arena direct. That turn was absolutely brutal. Having another Bog Slither's Embrace is just like the straight perfect removal there, because it puts another counter onto the Elm again, and yeah, that was disgusting stuff from our opponent. This Gnarlbark Elm is just shredding my soul. If I flash in this Glamourmite, I'm giving them something to the Gnarlbark Elm next turn. I am getting a big Glister Baron attack in. Getting 4 damage in, that's not that big. Not that big. Yeah, I don't think I'm playing it. While they still have the Elm. Double block with Chaos Spear and Kithkin, I can kill both. It's honestly not that bad. Or they double block with Spear and Urchin and I just kill one, but I get the Urchin out of here to stop going crazy with the Elm. Or I get damage in. Put them at a 9 against Glamourmite Glister Baron. Although again, they have the Elm. Another Liminal Hold. Man, they are just loaded with the removal. That's super bad for me. Hit the Glister Baron. No attack with Shadow Urchin is frustrating. I've already hit the green-red elemental this game, right? Yeah. So I don't need Druid or Wicker Model. I could chump Spewer here. And that's perfectly fine. Three turns of hits will kill them in the sky. Can only really get 1.5 because Elm can kill the Glamourmite. So if I Glamourmite in the end step, then I hit them for 5 in the sky one time. They're just going to go to combat here to try to put another counter on Elm. We Glamourmite down the Urchin. Just blank one of the Gnarlbark Elm activations. Okay, looks like that went super well for us. Take the 5. They're at 11, we're at 12. There's a Great Forest Druid on the ground. Keywords, on the ground. Just stop our 3-4 from mattering that turn. They're still going to kill Glamourmite here. We unfortunately just flood a little. Find the 9th land. Ah. A Johnny. And now they just wipe our whole board, and that's GG if we don't find a mythic of our own here like Deceit. It's not a scoop on the spot, but our list of outs, I think, is literally 1. This allows them to Gnarlbark Elm. The 3-4. I think we actually just double block to kill that for the future, but they could also Gnarlbark Elm the 3-4 post combat instead. But then Wickermaw's still here and they don't kill Glamourmite. So yeah, I think this is Wickermaw for Urchin, and then they're gonna Gnarlbark the Glamourmite. I mean, they could have additional tricks in hand. We don't know. Yep, Gnarlbark the Glamourmite. What do we draw? A 3/3. Buys us a turn, I guess. That is not beating in a Johnny.
Thank you for your aid.
We were not winning this game. Johnny and Chronicle a victory in the end here. Hmm. 4-2 looks like the record for this one. I think that's even dead on board. Yeah, it's 7 life. I stop 4, get trampled for 1. Stop that. I guess I take 5, but I have to chump the trample damage, which is brutal. Yeah, but that's essentially game. Now, Deceit isn't even close to doing anything. Oh, we already hit Deceit. What am I talking about? This game's been so long. Oh, we didn't. We drew it right now. Okay. They're at 6 life. I'm at 2. There's no way to gain life here. If I Deceit a Liminal Hold, I get back a Vibrance to the board, but I don't get the triggered abilities. I can bounce Chronicle and kill Chronicle, but then they still have a 5/4, a 3/4, a 2/1, and a 1/1. I only blocked the 5/4. I died everybody else. Deceit's just fashionably late here. There's no play I can make with it that survives. Brutal. All right. Rough ending there, but a great run overall. This was a pretty fun deck. We just had a bunch of cool Mythic Elementally stuff, so we just played green splash everything. I think this was the right deck. I think I played pretty well for the most part, and I don't think I could change the outcome of either of those losses. That's just magic for you. Got bombed a little hard in the second game, the second loss, and we flooded a bit hard in the first loss. Yeah, super reasonable deck. Played out perfectly well. Get another very positive record, but not a positive enough record to get the box yet. We're going to have to play some more of these, but we got more than enough gems to do so. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link description below. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.